Hello and welcome to this video. Now it's time for us to look at few more useful options of Nmap scan that we have probably not covered in our scanning videos. So to do that, I will go to the Nmap manual by typing man Nmap. And you already know how to navigate through this help. You can use your scroll wheel on your mouse, or you can use the up and down arrow keys on your keyboard. Like we said, Nmap is a very huge tool. It will take time to get acquainted with all about Nmap. Now look at this SN, no port scan. This option tells Nmap not to do a port scan after host discovery and only prints out the available host that responds to the host discovery probe. Knowing how many hosts are up is more valuable to attack than the list provided by list scan or every single IP host name. If you can remember, during our net discover scan, we were able to know how many hosts that are up and running in our network. This -SN scan can also enable us to achieve the same purpose. This SN scan tells Nmap not to do a port scan, but it only tells us how many hosts are up and available. So this scan tells us how many hosts are up and running. So this is a kind of scan you will do on multiple machines to know which of them are up and running. You can also use it on one machine. Alright, for me to continue working with IP addresses, I need to update my IP address list. As you can see here, I want to check my IP address for this Kali Linux installation. So I open a new terminal and I say if config, and here is the updated IP address. So I'm going to copy that, Kali Linux, and I'm going to paste it here. The next one is have Windows 10. So I go over to Windows 10 and I'm going to use CMD. Then here is going to be IP config, not IF config, but IP config. Enter. So here I have 192.168.232.131. Alright, so almost the same thing here, but I'm gonna say 131. Then I have that of Metasploitable. So I'm going to open that. I'm going to log in. MSF admin is the default login and password for Metasploitable. Then IF config for my IP address, and here I have 192.168.232.130. Okay, so I go back here, 232.130. So this is updated IP addresses of the machines I have now running. And one thing you have to know about my network mask, 25. So I also need this information. So it means that I can only change the last octet. Alright, so now let's continue. So for me to use this SN, let's go to a new terminal and I'll show you how to use it. So now I'm going to say nmap -sn, then I'm going to input my IP address, and for this .1/255 The reason why I'm having this is this. If you check my subnet mask, just the last octet is changeable. All these ones are locked. That's why they have 255, 255, 255. They are locked. I only have the option to change the last octet. So that is what I have changed with one. Now I want to scan the whole host on my network. So I'm going to hit enter a little while. This is going to take a while. So what can we see here? We have Nmap done 255 IP addresses, 6 hosts up, scanned in 27.94 seconds. So if you take a good look here, you will see that this .129 is my Kali Linux and .131 here is my Windows 10 and Metasploit table is this. So this can also give us the same result which we got from Net Discover, but I prefer that of Net Discover because it outputs the scan results in a more precise manner. Now with Nmap, you can scan any port you want. If you can remember in our previous scan, we were able to scan the first 1000 ports. But what if you want a situation whereby you choose a specific port or you want to scan one port? This is what you do. So here, we're going to scan the Metasploitable machine and that ends with .130. So I'm going to impute 130 here, and instead of xn, we're going to say p and we're going to include the port we want to scan. If we want to scan port 22, we impute it and we hit enter, and here it says port 22 TCP open SSH. Nmap done 1 IP address, 1 host up, scan in this time. You can also decide to scan port 80 and here is the result. Nmap scan result for Metasploitable. 1 IP address, 1 host up, scan in this time. You can also use this on selected ports, for example port 22, port 25, port 80 and port 100, and you hit enter, and here are the ports we imputed with 3 of them open and the last one closed. So this is important whereby you want to scan one particular port and you don't want to go and scan the first 1000 ports of your target. So you can see that we had to separate the ports with a comma. Now what happens if you want to scan a range of ports? You can scan from port 22 through a range to port 200. Hit enter. The first most important port between 22 and 200, and you can see the states which is open and the services that are running on these ports. Now remember I told you that we have over 65,000 ports. This is the same idea if you want to scan all the ports we have. You can put port 1 to 65,535 ports. If I hit enter now, this is going to scan and it's going to take time because we are scanning all the ports. So that finished pretty quick despite scanning all the ports. And here it says Nmap scan report for Metasploitable, not shown 65,505 closed TCP ports reset. So what I'm trying to demonstrate here is showing you that you can actually scan all the ports in case you need to do that. So Nmap done one IP address, one host of scan in 21.08 seconds. So with this scan, we were able to discover some ports which we never saw in our previous scan. If you look at these ports, you will see that they are open, and this is the first time we are seeing such a scan, because our previous scan stops at first 1000 ports. Another option we can use is -F, that is uppercase F. This scan will output the first 100 ports. So I hit enter, and as you can see from the result, it doesn't mean it scans only ports between 1 and 100, but it means it scans the first 100 ports that are usually useful. As you can see, this number is bigger than 100. Now that we have performed several Nmap scans, what if we want to control how we present our scan results? For example, I can decide how to output the result of my scan. Now, let's go back to the first Nmap scan we did. What if I want to output this scan result in a .txt format? This is what I simply do. I'll simply do the same thing again. Then for me to output it, I'm going to use this. Then name .txt. I'm going to hit enter, where name is going to be the name of my output or my scan result. I'm scanning the Metasploit. So if you can see, there is nothing to show here, and that is because our scan result has been saved in a .txt file. So what we can do is to ls, and here is the name .txt. So if I cut that, here is the scan result. The cut function helps us to view the content of this scan result, and below is the contents of the scan result. Another way we can output our result is to use what is called on. If I edit this and I come here, -on, and I place a name, if I hit enter, the scan is going to start. It's going to output my result in two ways. One on the terminal, and the other one I need to cut to see the output. So this is one on the terminal, and this is the name I put here, just name. So let's go and say ls, and you see the name. So let's cut the name now, enter, and again this is the second output. So they're basically the same thing, just that they are saved in two different ways. Here is the first one, and here is the second one. So this just means saving the same result in two different ways or forms. Now, most of the things I'm doing here can be found on the manual. So let me go and see if I can locate where this is. It's under output. So when you go to output, you scroll down, then you're going to see these options. Request that normal output redirected to the given file name. So there's nothing whatever in Kali Linux that is gotten off the head. Everything is somewhere written down, All you need to do is go there, pick it up, and make use of it. As from next videos, we're going to move to more advanced level whereby you begin to use Nmap to do more serious tasks and jobs. That's all for this video. I will see you on the next one.